Hey guys, what's up? So if you haven't already noticed by the title of this video, I have finally come out to my family. If you haven't seen my first coming out video, I would suggest watching that one first. The link is going to be in the bio. But I'm just going to get right to it and tell you what happened. So I knew I was going to tell my parents over the summer, but I didn't really know exactly what day I was going to tell them. I just knew I was going to do it sometime that summer. And so they picked me up from school, and little did I know that I was going to tell them that day. So we were in the car, and one of my friends on the other side of campus wanted to say bye before I left. And so I had my parents driving me over there, and on the way, they were asking me, like, oh, who's this girl you're going to go see? Like, do you like her? And I was like, no, I don't like her. And then so after I saw her, they kept asking me, like, is there anybody else that you like? Have you talked to anyone? Have you dated anyone? Have you liked anybody? And I kept trying to deny it, but I think they could tell that I was lying to them. And so after a lot of questions and a bunch of persuasion, I was like, okay, yes, I like somebody. And then they were like, oh, okay, well, what's their name? And so I told him his name, and they were silent for a minute. And then my mom was like, okay. And she just had no words. She didn't know what to say. She was completely in shock. It was completely out of the blue to them because they just had never considered that. And so I just kept talking, and I explained everything that had happened. Told them how I dated a guy for 4 months and how I had always liked guys. And she was kind of confused because I used to like this girl in high school, and she knew that. And so she was wondering, well, you used to like this girl, like, then how can you like guys? So I was trying to explain to her how I was just kind of like, I thought I liked her, but that was more me trying to convince myself to like her. And so it was kind of hard for her to completely grasp it because, like I said before, that we're from South Carolina and it's not really a big thing down here. And so she didn't really know how to take it, and she didn't really know much about it. So she was just really confused. And so after about an hour of talking, we finally stopped to go get some lunch. And my mom went to the bathroom. When she came out, I saw that she had been crying because her face was all red and there were tears in her eyes. And so I knew it was really hard for her. And I knew it was going to be hard, but it was just kind of upsetting to see that she was crying about it. Um, but I knew that she still loved me, and she told me that she still loved me, and she still supported me. And so I knew I wasn't in any kind of situation where they were going to kick me out or like they were going to do something bad. But I knew it was going to be hard on them. And so the next day, my mom came back home, and they're like, Benjo, we need to talk. And so I went into their room that night, and supposedly my mom had driven all the way to see my aunt, which is her sister. And my mom said that she had met with my aunt for 3 hours and talked about the whole situation and cried and was trying to figure things out because my aunt is super liberal and super accepting of all that kind of stuff. And so she knew my aunt was someone that she could talk to. And so thank goodness for my aunt. I love her so much. She was able to talk to my mom and help my mom figure everything out. And so my mom was kind of a completely different person when she talked to me that night than she did when I first told her, because she kind of understood things better and she had time to process through everything. And so she was still a little confused on how I liked guys versus girls because she knew about my friend that I liked and everything. And so it was kind of hard to convince her, explain to her how it was more kind of me just trying to figure myself out and try to convince myself that I wasn't gay. Um, but after a while, I think she kind of figured it out. And over the past couple months, she has been slowly getting more and more accepting of it and being more aware. And she's been watching a bunch of guys who are gay couples on YouTube. And I think it's really helped her kind of give it a more visual and see like that they're normal people too. There's not much different about them other than they like guys instead of girls. And so yeah, it's been really great. She's been really supportive. Every once in a while, she'll ask me questions about it. So she's really trying to figure it out and accept it. I know it'll take some time for her to be completely comfortable with it, but I've had 19 years of my life to kind of figure it out. She's had just a couple months. So I knew after a while and after a little bit more experience and exposure to it, she's going to be fine. And so fast forward a couple months to about, I don't know, a week or two ago, I decided to come out to my brother. So my brother's in high school, and I was kind of nervous about coming out to him because I wasn't sure how he was going to react. I knew there was a guy in my high school that he was kind of had issues with, and I knew that he was gay. Not my brother, but like I knew the other guy was gay, and so I didn't know if that was the reason why those two had conflicts. So I was always a little hesitant to tell him, but I finally was like, okay, I need to tell my brother before I go back to school. So I was in the car with him, and I started to bring up the conversation. I was like, hey, so you went on this date, like, how was it? And I kept asking him questions about this girl he was dating, and asking him, like, does he like anybody else? Has he dated anybody else? And I was hoping that he would ask me the same thing, because that way it just, like, brought in a conversation, and, like, bam, I could tell him. But he never did, because my brother doesn't ask questions. So I finally was like, dude, are you gonna ask me anything? And so he finally was like, well, have you dated anybody? And I told him, yes, I actually have. And he was like, okay, well, who? And so I told him the guy's name, and he was like, oh, okay, that's cool. And he was like, it didn't even faze him. He was completely cool with it, completely accepting. He told me that he loved me, told me he was 100% supportive of me, and he was really proud of me and happy that I finally told him, though he was a little mad that I waited so late to tell him, and that I told my parents first. I think he wanted to know first. But he was super supportive, and so I'm very thankful for that. And he's currently working on his essays for college, and he is actually working on one about me, because the prompt is something like, who is someone that you admire or someone that you look up to, and he wrote about me and my coming out experience. And so I think that's really great, and I love him a lot, and I'm really thankful to have him as a brother and to have him be so supportive and accepting that as he is. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at right now. There's still a few more family members I'm working on telling, like my grandparents, because I think it's going to be a little bit harder on them, because there's just older generations who are still, like, they're just not used to it. And so I know they're all going to love me fine. I'm not worried about them not accepting me, but it's just kind of hard to tell them. So yeah, I guess that's it. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up below. If you haven't already subscribed to my channel, I would highly suggest subscribing to it. I'm still going to try to make more videos, and it's just been really busy the past couple months, so I just haven't had time to do it, but I will be making more. Go watch my other videos, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye.